Hey guys, welcome back to the Bb9Ja Season 6 Shine Your High Recap with Sergeant Uluri. And this is proudly brought to you by IPO. Please, I'll need you all to follow them on Instagram at IPO and let them know that you're from Sergeant Uluri. So this week, I'm bringing you all the things that you missed, the recap of what happened in the house, from the fights, the drama, the wins, the relationships sinking, and the ones that are sailing. But before then, we'll be right back after the short break.
How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow! And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
I recap with Sergeant Uluri, and this is proudly brought to you by Hypo. So please follow them on Instagram at IPO. I love to just sing it. All right, so I'm bringing you the recap for this week, and starting with Monday, the head of house games took place in the house, and Boma became the second head of house for week 2, and he chose Jackie B as his deputy. So having said that, the nomination took place immediately after the head of house games, and Maria and Perry were the only ones who had the nomination edge to vote 5 housemates up for eviction this week. The housemates up for eviction this week are Earrings, Yusuf, Beatrice, White Money, and Nee. So these 5 housemates are actually up for eviction this week, and 1 or 2 of them will be going this Sunday. So having said that, there was tension in the house even before then. During the direct session with Maria and Perry, with Biggie, they were actually tensed because they didn't know who to pick or who to choose in the house. I mean, without forgetting that this is a game, so they're actually they're thinking in their head who to actually select to, to nominate for eviction this week. And with that aspect, Perry felt bad about that. Even Maria even cried. She cried in the diary session, while she was even selecting the housemates to be up for eviction. So it was really a very, very emotional kind of Monday, and also for the fact that when the 5 housemates were announced by Biggie, he told them also that they cannot solicit for vote. So you, the viewers, obviously know where to vote and how to vote for your favorite housemate. So having said that, moving on to day 2, they had the fashion show organized by the housemates, and the winner, of course, won 400 Bb9Ja in the house. So Boma became the winner for the male, and Jackie B also won for the female. So, I mean, this was just coincidence, basically, because it was just a fashion show. All the housemates came out with their best dress, best looks, and they had to flaunt their moves and strut also on the runway to actually impress the judges. So they actually did well. All of them did well, from their dressing to their makeup to their posture, to their pose, and also strutting on the runway. But eventually, Boma became the winner for the male, and Jackie became the winner for the female. So moving on, I'll be talking about the relationships and ships happening in the house. Angel and Sammy are actually having a back and forth with their relationship in the house. It's actually being said, but I think other housemates are actually pushing for them to become a couple, like to have a relationship. Most especially for Irene. Irene really likes the fact that Sammy and Angel are together, but she also wants to make sure that they are actually getting along. But Angel is actually feeling the whole relationship, honestly, because she has also always been talking about it in the house, always telling other housemates that she's not really feeling Sammy. She's not seeing Sammy in the that she's just going up with the old cruise and all. And Sammy, of course, wants attention. Sammy wants to be around her all the time. That even most times when Angel is sleeping or she's taking a nap in the house, Sammy always, goes around where Angel is to just talk to her and all. So it just is that their relationship is just rocky at the moment, and Sammy has already, Sammy actually expressed how he feels about Angel to other housemates. Angel has also expressed how she feels about Sammy to other housemates. So Sammy and Angel, we are looking forward to seeing if they will actually repair this ship, or maybe the ship is going to wreck totally. So still talking about relationships, Liquorus and Emmanuel also had a back and forth this week. Liquorus was actually, she felt betrayed that Emmanuel put her up as one of the wild cards. If you remember, last week's eviction show, J. Paul and Licorice were the wildcards the housemates chose. And remember that Bibi said if the housemates are actually correct about the wildcards, they get to leave that Sunday. But if they are not correct about the wildcards actually have the tendency to stay in the house and also also compete for the 90 million naira prize. So which was what happened last week. J. Paul and Licorice were the housemates that were up as the wildcard. So the housemates totally missed it. So Pere and Maria actually stood up when Biggie told them to stand up, and they showed themselves as the real wildcards in the house. So since then it has just been a rocky thing between Emmanuel and Licorice. So Licorice finding out that Emmanuel put her up as one of the wildcards was really, she really felt bad about that, and she felt that with everything they've been through in the house for at least under 1 week or more than, she felt that he should be able to tell her as a friend that he put her up as one of the wildcards. So she found out from other housemates and she felt bad about it. She actually confronted Emmanuel, about the situation. They trashed it out. Maria, coming to the whole scene to trying to make sure that both of them actually understand what's going on and all. Emmanuel feeling bad about the whole situation, and then Pere took him aside, and started, advising him, about his relationship with Licorice and how he needs to fix it if he wants to fix it, and how he needs to move on so that other female housemates in the house can see that he is available, for them. So Pere also asked a question, asked Emmanuel if he's actually interested in Maria, if he really likes Maria, and Emmanuel said no, he doesn't really like Maria, he really likes her as a friend. So with that scenario happening, it felt like Pere just wants to push the whole Maria agenda on Emmanuel, and Emmanuel, I think he was not smart, but I think it was smart to actually, tell that he was trying to push that on him, and he only declared that she's just a friend in the house. So that's about Licorice and Emmanuel, because their relationship is actually one of the relationships that people are trying to ship. Not just the viewers, but even people in the house are trying to ship both of them. I recap with
John,
Sergeant
can you use our
Uluri.
toilet now?
Ew! My mommy
mommy said I should always use a toilet that is cleaned with hypo toilet cleaner. James will bite my bum bum.
John, what's the problem? Use Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Introducing the new and affordable Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Kills germs and deodorizes your toilet.
John, you can use our toilet now.
Ew. My mommy said I should always use a toilet that is cleaned with hypo toilet cleaner. James will bite my bum bum.
John, what's the problem? Use Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Introducing the new and affordable Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Kills germs and deodorizes your toilet.
Cottons, on the art on the art paper, you could tell that they actually had, something to Alright guys, welcome back to the Big Brother Naija Season 6 Shine Your Eye Recap with Sergeant Uluri, and this is proudly brought to you by IPO. So please follow them on Instagram at IPOGoWipeO. Let them know that you are from Sergeant Uluri. So still on Licorice and Emmanuel, like I said earlier, Emmanuel actually felt bad about the whole situation. Licorice also felt betrayed because she has trust issues with men. So Emmanuel had to, apologize to Licorice to just, let them just, forget what happened and move on, like the way they used to be in the house. And so Emmanuel actually apologized, and he also promised her that he's going to make it up, to her by I don't know, maybe buying her things in the house. We don't, maybe it's Naira, we don't know yet. So Licorice and Emmanuel actually, they settled their quarrel. So moving on, in the course of the week, Biggie gave the housemates a task, to showcase their artist side. So their art was an artwork task, and he grouped them into 3 groups. So we had Team Saga, we have Team White Money, and also Team Boma. So with everything all said, they had the task for about 3 hours, with different groups coming up with different ideas, also showcasing their artist side, which I really enjoyed watching, from seeing Team Boma to Team White Money and also Team Saga. You could tell that everybody has a creative side of them. So with all of that happening, Biggie also told them to talk about their hard work in the house. So Ari represented Team White Money, Saga represented Team Saga, and Earrings represented Team Boma. So at the end of the task, the winners were announced on Friday, because the task took place on Wednesday, but the winners were announced on Friday. So the winner for this art task was Team Saga. Of course, I could tell even from from the sketch, and and when they were also putting the curtains on the hats on the art paper, you could tell that they actually had something to tell, a story to tell, about what they presented in the house. So Team Saga won the heart task. So we're moving on to the fights in the house. The fights, actually started, from the previous night into Friday. And what actually caused the fights is actually relationships in the house, from people gossiping, people talking about people's relationship, other people's relationships sinking, and the ones that are standing. So I'll be starting with Licorice and Angel. So Licorice, of course, had an argument with Angel in the dressing room, and she confronted her about her talking about gossiping about her in the midnight, and she didn't like the fact that she heard her name from her mouth. And this is actually between Angel and Beatrice versus Licorice. So Licorice obviously confronted Angel. She talked about it, and she said she didn't like the fact that her name was on her lips, and she didn't like the fact that she was gossiping about her in the middle of the night while they were all sleeping. That what were they saying, or what were they talking about her, and looking at the fact that Angel, of course, wanted to explain herself, looking at what happened. Licorice was not having it all. She was just trying to, defend herself and also attack Angel at the same time, with everything that happened. Of course, you could feel the tension in the house, being the fact that, a lot of things, happened during the week, so everybody was just, up, with their emotions, So later on, Licorice and Beatrice also had like a back and forth in the lounge area, and Licorice also gave it back to Beatrice that she should get her name from her mouth. She doesn't want to hear her name from her mouth, but it just went on and on with Beatrice, Angel, and Licorice. So it's all understandable that being gossiped about is something that some people don't like, and she actually, Licorice actually warned Angel and Beatrice to get her name from her mouth. She doesn't like being gossiped about. Like, if you want to say something to her, let her know straight up. So another fight that one of the highlights again was that another fight took place in the house same day, which is actually between Jackie B and Maria. So Jackie B and Maria had a back and forth in the lounge, in the garden area, where they had a back and forth, they're talking out, they're saying things that one person said, another person said, she heard, I heard, they said, they're just talking. And in the course of their argument, Maria actually mentioned Jackie B's son, and Jackie B told her to take her son's name out of the whole issue, because she didn't like the fact that she mentioned her son, and this actually made the argument more intense, because Jackie B was just about, I don't want you mentioning my son's name, I don't want you mentioning my son in this argument and all. So with all fights and all, other housemates just had to separate. They didn't fight physically, I'm just saying with the word of mouth exchange. That's what I mean. So with the word of mouth exchange, they had to just separate both of them to stay, away from each other and all. So the fight drama has actually started. It has been brewing for a long time, and Jackie B Maria and then we also had the Licorice Angel. We also had Licorice and Beatrice, who had some arguments in the house. So on Friday also, Biggie had a diary session with their housemates, to hear from them, and also they also talked about their experience in the house for at least 2 weeks, what they need to see and who they feel is authentic in the house. And some of the housemates actually mentioned few of their housemates who they see as some of this diary session, Maria, Angel, Licorice, they also had to talk about the issue. They equally inspired between both of them and also other housemates in the house, and also explaining the basis of the issue. So the real foundation of all of this is almost finished the gist for everybody, but she didn't really go into details because she was just giving.
How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow.
Beats and
how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
So most of the housemates in the house is.
How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow. And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
So hygiene is actually one of the biggest problems for the housemates in the house, So one of the issues that is really on the lips of most of the housemates in the house is hygiene. Of course, some of these housemates are not finding it funny anymore that other housemates would use the restroom and then they leave it in a dirty state, or they don't even clean after they are done. So Angel had a discussion with Boma during the course of the week about the hygiene state of the toilets they have in the house, and looking at the fact that they have just 2 toilets. One was actually blocked during the week, so they had to talk about hygiene, also talk about men peeing on the floor. It was just a lot for us to hear because we cannot see the restroom area, but we can actually see the kitchen area. So Angel actually raised a point stating that the men should take one part and the female should take the other part. So Boma, having to agree, and other housemates having to agree to what Angel raised as a suggestion. So they had to make a vote, and they came to a conclusion that the female will have their own restroom and the male will also have their own restroom for the housemates in house, in the kitchen area, also in the restroom area. And Angel also talked about the fact that other housemates also have to talk about the fact that they also have to clean after they are done using the toilet, and maybe when they want to when it's their own turn to use the toilet, they see it in a dirty state. So Angel emphasized on the fact that hygiene is really it's really important in the house, and for the fact that they also have to use hypo to clean and wash the toilets afterwards is something that other housemates needs to keep up with, because they are all using the same toilet. Look at it, not everybody is actually okay with staying in a dirty place or seeing a dirty toilet. So I like the fact that Angel actually pushed for that. Even Maria too, during our diary session, she also talked about hygiene, and also talked about the fact that the kitchen area too is always dirty. She talked about the restroom area too, being dirty, and also hygiene was one of the hot topics this week, where Angel had to raise it up for other housemates to see that it is very important that they keep their space clean, they keep their environment clean, they also keep the restroom clean. And talking about the housemates using hypo to wash the toilet in the house. So talking about the kitchen area, let's talk about white money and the awesome one, and white money was actually put in charge of the kitchen when Boma became the head of house. So far, the housemates are really enjoying the fact that it feeds them. Some of them cannot cook, most especially for Sammy. He stated it during his diary session that he cannot cook, and is so grateful to White Money for doing the job for him, that he gets to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. And this is just to say well done to White Money, because he's doing the job for 21 housemates. But talking about the kitchen, talking about food, and also talking about how the housemates are feeding. Last week they all talked about food shortage in the house. I think about day 4 or day 5, they were already complaining about food shortage. So Boma had to put White Money in charge of the kitchen. So White Money so far has been able to manage, the food in the house, with other housemates, and everybody, gets to eat. If the food goes round, there's no food wastage. Even when others have to do their own personal shopping on Sunday, others will have to do their own group shopping also too. But so far, nobody has even complained, about food, because White Money feeds them. It makes more rice, soup, sauces. These people are enjoying. And I can't even deny the fact that they are actually enjoying in the house. But kudos to White Money for managing the kitchen area. And of course, this is something that we all can learn, even while we are watching the show at home, on how to manage and cut down food. If you can finish it, and if you don't want to waste food, just manage whatever it is that you have. Right, so let's move down to the Friday task. So this Friday they had the first Friday arena task. Last week Friday they had the presentation. So this Friday was the first Friday arena task, and all the housemates had to do the military task in about 2 minutes. So at the end of the task, Sammy became winner. Sammy and Licorice were the winner for the Friday task, and Biggie gave them a treat in the garden area with food and drinks, and the housemates also had the opportunity to enjoy the jacuzzi in their swimwear and all. So of course, Biggie likes to celebrate big wins in the house. He likes to celebrate everything that the housemates do in the house. And of course, this week the housemates also enjoyed, they also had a punishment. I would say they had a punishment from Biggie this week. So because they've been flouting some of the rules, they've been slow at doing things, they've not been following the rules Biggie gave to them in the house. He gave them a punishment to pick beans and rice, to separate beans and rice, for I think on Monday or so. So they had to do that, which was one of the punishments that Biggie gave them this week. And also celebrating wins, Team Saga won, another team won a task this week, and again Licorice and Sammy winning again this week. It has just been a week of wins and wins and wins, left, right, center.
how do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow! And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
How do you manage to keep your fabric so white? Wow! And how do you manage to keep your house this clean?
I always use Hypo to make our white clothes whiter and to keep our home clean and germ-free.
John, you can use our toilet now.
Ew! My mommy said I should always use a toilet that is cleaned with Hypo toilet cleaner. James will bite my bum bum.
John, what's the problem? Use Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Introducing the new and affordable Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Kills germs and deodorizes your toilet.
Hypo.